Welcome to episode 72 of the Mile 20 podcast, where epic shit happens. My name is Lori, and I'm here with my bestie,
Laura.
and we are going to have a very fun day catching up with kind of a local CrossFit person out of Phoenixville, PA, Karen Littlewood. We're excited to bring you that interview coming up. But Laura, what have you been up to over the last week?
I just been living in air conditioning for the past, I don't know, like 6 or 7 days. We got walloped just like a lot of the United States with a ridiculous heat wave. So we had a big 4th of July, weekend with family and friends in.
Did
And
everybody come down?
everybody came down. My brother Steven came down.
Oh, nice.
Julie and Greg came down on the 4th.
Oh, that's
My
fun.
parents, my 85-year-old aunt, and we all were inside.
I'm sure.
I didn't go on the boat once this entire weekend.
Oh,
So it was either 110 degrees real feel, or we had the most hellacious weather. We had 75-mile-an-hour winds on Saturday night, where it actually, our neighbor in front of us on the Sassafras River, it actually bent up his whole like kitchen grill unit.
oh
Like
my
that's
gosh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like it was absolutely insane. And the lightning show was absolutely spectacular. So while we did not get to go and see fireworks on the Bohemia River like we had planned, we turned out all the lights in the house and we all sat in the sunroom and we watched the lightning show happen. And it was, we were like,
Like
"Ooh."
fireworks.
It was fun. It was fun. We like, look, you get a bag of lemons, you make lemonade and you throw some vodka in it. So that's what we did. But it was nice. I mean, mostly everybody came down on Friday. Everybody else came on Saturday, and we had a really, really absolutely lovely time. And my husband and I, Jim and I, celebrated our 33rd wedding anniversary on Saturday
Woohoo!
as
Happy
well. So, yep, we got
anniversary.
married on 4th of July. So it was nice. While the 4th of July, we don't usually get to spend that day together because, it's usually a barbecue. We everybody left on Sunday by I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock. So Sunday night, he got a bunch of blue crabs because we catch our own crabs in the river. And he went and heated those up. So we had actually a dozen blue crabs with a nice bottle of red wine from Madoc, from one of the
Lovely.
chateaus that we actually ran through during that Marathon de Madoc. So yeah, so that's, I mean, it's just really good family, lots of really good food. I feel like I gained like 5 pounds this weekend just because of just the quantity of food that I ate.
Yep.
And I'm super excited because I'm getting the kitchen redone right now in Pennsylvania, and I got hardwood floors today. So yep,
Woohoo!
they're finishing up the floors this week, and cabinets start going in the beginning of next week. So it's
It's gonna look so fabulous.
going to start feeling real, next week. So how about you? I know you're up in the Adirondacks.
Yes, we had the end of the Lake Placid horse show this over the weekend. It went over the 4th, but we had everybody here, all 3 kids plus ones. Ella had her roommate from college came. She lives in
Nice.
Buffalo. So she came. We're still up in Adirondacks, and it's been lovely. It really has. I'm still up here with Maggie and Connor. Everybody kind of left Sunday, Monday, and it's just kind of quiet. But it's been so nice. Like, unlike down there, it has gotten warm. I think we had 2 days where it felt like it was in the 90s with a lot of humidity. And of course, we don't have air
I
conditioning
know. I
here.
was like, ew.
It was thick, but it cooled off at night, and we have
Yeah.
fans that move the air. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was fine. But right now, I mean, it has been lovely today. Like I said right before we sat down to start the podcast, I'm like, I'm fresh off the boat. We were just in the water swimming, and it's just been so pleasant up here. I don't want to come home.
Oh, well, last night I watched the U.S. Men lose
Yes.
terribly to Belgium.
Yes, we watched out on the deck out here.
Yeah, yeah. I sat out on my deck and it was in like the low 60s. So it was absolutely lovely. So I'm like, oh, mama's going to run in the morning. It was raining this morning.
Oh,
It's like, and of course it didn't show it on the radar. So I was a little bummed. So I'm going to hope to get a little run in because we are going to meet up with each other on Friday.
whoop, whoop.
And yeah, and we're going to run the Mad Marathon in Vermont, in Waitsfield, Vermont.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm picking you up at the Burlington airport on Friday.
yes, yes. So, so that'll be a good time. All right. So we are going to interview Karen now. And I'm really, really looking forward to her insight and her teaching us a little bit about the world of endurance sports outside of just running marathons.
Yep, let's do it. Well, we want to welcome Karen Littlewood to the Mile 20
Yay.
podcast today. Karen's passion for fitness started early with neighborhood games, competitive sports, and a love of staying active. After playing collegiate field hockey in England, she discovered endurance sports, completing an Ironman, amazing, racing triathlons and adventure races, and finishing dozens of half and full marathons. She later qualified for strongman nationals before finding CrossFit in 2021, where her passion for strength training continues today as a coach at Iron Cross Athletics in Phoenixville, PA. Karen, welcome to
Hey.
Mile 20.
Yay, Karen.
Thank you very much.
We are definitely not talking to a slacker today, that's for sure.
No. I was like, oh yeah, I've done some things in my life when you hear it that way.
I know it's pretty cool. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
So
So
much
like
fun.
where did this all begin? Like, where did this passion for athletics begin? And kind of take us through your journey through, like, starting out, moving to doing field hockey in England and running. Like, how did all of
There's a
this
jump.
thread through your life?
So I always just had so much joy playing outside, right? Like like so many kids of the 70s and 80s, we had the street light and it was like when the street light came on, you better have yourself home. And I love to kind of, I don't know, crush or go after the boys who thought they were like a big deal and sort of assert dominance, like kickball or playing baseball with my brothers, that kind of thing. Um, and I was raised by my dad with my four siblings, and I was the oldest female. So he was very much like, you're going to go out and do all these things, and this is what we do.
Mhm.
And he was a bio professor. So there was like lots of directives in terms of like, you must always pick things up that are heavy and put them down throughout your life, or you'll lose muscle. And that will be, decrepitude. And it was like,
That's
okay,
true.
sounds good, right?
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't
before
use
this
it, you
time.
lose it.
Correct. Yeah. And he never saw the inside of a gym, honestly. But he always was like physically engaged. Like he was the dad that was playing soccer with us and coaching little league and um, backyard games. And he'd jump into like a catch or t-ball or whatever, softball, baseball, kickball, outside. And so we were just an active family. And then I think as I got older, that was kind of, I always say like, I didn't understand the girl game. Like I wasn't really sure what was going down there
Yeah.
with some of the female dynamics, but I knew I could like wiggle my way onto the kickball field at recess and feel like a pretty large badass. So I think it was really like a confidence thing from a girl raised by her dad, is how I think it started. And then I always just feel that it's joyful. And I still feel that way. I feel like when you're in a CrossFit class, it's that same joy of playing outside as a kid or running in a race or marathon or adventure racing. It's that same level of joy. And I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe we don't get to do that all the time. And so for me, I really am, I'm just still playing like a kid as an adult. And I think all of the things, the opportunities I had along the way were really just doing the thing that I thought was fun.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
I
I
love
love
that analogy of like still playing as a kid, but as an adult.
And I
Yeah,
can pick that thread up with you guys, right? When you talk about running, um, we've all had running buddies and run groups, I think, over the years. And it's like
absolutely.
you can crush through 20, 22 miles, and there's a lot of laughter and there's joy, and it's like, it's fun. You know, we used to joke we could solve all the problems of the world. We just needed about 20 miles to do it.
That's so true.
20
Uh,
miles in a mile 20 beverage.
right, exactly. Of course. Yeah.
I feel like my best thoughts come after the mile 20 beverage though,
Yes.
for if I'm being real.
Like no thoughts, like
Yeah.
whatsoever, Karen, how did you end up in England
Yep.
playing
So
sports?
I was putting myself through college, and so I was pushing and pushing and pushing to minimize the amount of time I was in college, like taking as many classes as I could, working a
Yeah.
couple jobs. And in my program, you had to do an internship. So I got through and on course to graduate early, and then I was informed that, oh, you can only do that internship in a spring. So I basically couldn't
Wow.
unenroll from college or I would lose my scholarship, but I could I could apply to an exchange program, or I could just take kind of random classes at school. So I put my name in to an exchange program at an Oxford affiliate called St. Mark and St. John, which is on the southwest coast of England in Plymouth.
Oh, nice.
Oh, beautiful.
And I got there and it turned out the school had a major phys ed program. So they had really competitive sports programs. And they had a turf field for field hockey, which you didn't have here.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
and so I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go out for this. Like, what's the worst case? I get cut, and who cares? And their field hockey field was located on the top of a cliff front with the ocean.
Oh,
Oh,
I was
gorgeous.
like, I have to try to play on this field.
that's
Um,
Yeah.
awesome.
so I just went to the coach, and he was like, "Well, it's cultural here. Like, the Brits grow up playing field hockey. They just call it hockey there. Like we play little league or baseball here. So he's like, it's a very competitive program, but I'll give you like we do have open spots for walk-ons. And they called it something else, but essentially a tryout. So I went and watched a game, and it was so much faster than we had here because it's turf and we only had grass here. So
Yeah.
I would just get up and go to the gym in the morning and do swim training, get on a treadmill so that cardiovascularly I could keep up with them. I did sprint training on the field. And then 10 days later, I tried out and got a spot.
That's awesome.
So it was wonderful. It was a great experience.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Love it. And you were there for an entire semester?
Yep. And I was able to stay on. So I went early, did a study program in the southwest coast of England, and then I stayed on. So I was able to live on there for 6 months. So
Oh,
it was
that's
great. And I
nice.
came home, did my internship, and graduated.
What a great opportunity. So you talked a little bit about running. So
Mhm.
looking back, Karen, on your running career, is there from your perspective a race that stands out, or like a moment in a race that to you it like really changed your perspective, like your approach as an athlete?
Um, I don't know that there was a specific moment that changed my approach, but I can definitely say that I had some really cathartic moments in big races. My mom had passed away while I was training for Lake Placid Ironman,
Mm,
and I was
sorry.
fairly young at that time. And so it was sort of the first time I had dealt with that, with losing a parent.
Hmm.
And I had kind of felt like finishing Ironman on my bucket list was a buy-in to be able to become a mom myself. So it was kind of like I felt like I needed to check some of these goals off of my list before I would allow myself to, try to be a mom. There's this, I'm sure you're familiar with it, this beautiful hill that you climb for a good bit of time, and then you get to just fly down this hill in J on the course.
Well, see, I'm
And
not all that familiar with the Lake Placid Ironman course because I'm sitting here thinking how painful that cycling has to be in my brain. Because, like,
I
we
love
drive
it.
in
We ran it. We
from
ran it.
Saranac.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's just you just get to climb mountains all day on your bike. And it's, as you know, it's so
We
beautiful
ran
up
it.
there. Yeah. You know what? It was so cool. I understand they do it differently now. They do like everybody enters and like a line or something for the swim. But when I did it, everybody would plow into the water.
Oh, oh,
A
And then
mass start.
the mass start and the level of the lake would go up,
Oh
which
my
is just
gosh.
like amazing, right? Like that many people raising Mirror Lake's water level.
that's
Yeah.
Cool.
crazy.
But in any case, so you climb for a bit and then you go down this beautiful pass where you can see the water and the sun is sparkling off the water as it loops around the side of the mountain. Um, and I was like just able to say goodbye to my mom and at the same time know that like I was going to cross the finish line that night and
Oh,
I would have been able to move on and become a mom myself. So moments like that probably mostly define my love of all the years of racing.
yeah.
Above and beyond like strategy, certainly I learned how to race better and fuel differently and those kind of things. But I think those kind of moments probably touched my heart the most for the decades that I did that.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
sticking with Ironman, like with
Yeah.
Ironman training, it requires like an incredible amount of commitment as far as training goes. Like, what did a typical training week look like, and what was the biggest challenge you had to overcome during the training of the
So I
Ironman?
think going into Ironman, I had done a bunch of halves, but I was sort of, I don't know if it's that like there was like just a belief that like I'm just willing to work hard and suffer, so I'm just going to do this. Combined with like I didn't know a ton about it, so it was kind of like I had a couple women that I had met in running groups were like, "We're doing adventure race. You want to do an adventure race with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then you sign
I know how
up,
that
and then
goes.
like 7 hours in, you realize, oh, you need the other people you're doing this with to be capable, and some aren't, and so you're going to do
Yeah.
a little more work. And so that's kind of like, I'm like, okay, I can sign up for teamwork. Um, and then with triathlon, I was like, oh, I did one, and I was like, I am not as confident in the water as I need to be proficient at this.
Yeah.
So I literally went online, and this was back when like you could sign up for like 6 triathlons for like $120. And I feel
Right.
like, you know what? I'm just going to get better at this summer. And I signed up for like one of these 6 triathlon packages. And then I signed up for an Xterra race. I did no research. So basically, I was dating my husband at the time, and this guy was so nice. He would every Saturday get up and we would drive to some random lake somewhere and I'd do a triathlon.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I was like, I got to get
He's a
better.
keeper.
Yeah, I was like, I got to get better at this. Yeah. Um, and then I realized right before Xterra that, oh my gosh, this is like a championship race and it involves mountain biking. I'd never mountain biked before.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So I was like kind of a fool. So I went and bought a mountain bike, which I still ride this mountain bike today. It's hilarious because it's so ancient. Um, but I literally just went and bought it off of a sale rack in Lake Placid and just like went out and came out good and bloodied and just figured it out. But then I was like, oh, mountain biking's pretty fun. I'm really bad at it, and so I need to learn how to do this better. But I don't know now at 51 if I would be so reckless about doing it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like between, hopping onto like a field hockey, field, right. In England, jumping into like triathlons, mountain biking and so forth. Like with all of those experiences, like what are the lessons that you've taken away from like just kind of tackling all these new things and like
Yeah.
as you're saying like hey, I'm putting in the hard work and the grit and sometimes the blood and the sweat, right, to go and get better at it. But what are the lessons that you take away like as now you're in your 50s and you're doing CrossFit and you've done
Mhm.
a whole bunch of other things. What are the takeaways that you learned early on in life that you now carry over into the what I call the back nine?
Yes, I love that. I'm a big say yes person. Um, I know that a lot of the thinking, or there's been this like little trend on like, say no, it's okay to say no. And I get the space and like having boundaries and the idea of that theory, but I'm still a yes person. Like, I'm hard up to say no to an adventure of any kind. And I think you're always going to walk away from any of these things with either a great story, a great memory, right? Or you probably had some fun like along the way. Um, and I think that I love doing hard things. Um, I love
Yeah.
one of the CrossFit apparel companies has this saying that comfort is a slow death. And I think that it's so true. And so I hope that like I keep doing things that are out of my comfort zone as long as I'm like physically able to do it. And maybe even past that.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I mean,
Amen. Amen to that.
Sorry, you asked about Ironman training, and I kind of got us off track. But when I then decided I was going to do Ironman, I was like, okay, I need to get a coach, and I need to like figure out what I'm doing because I want to do this quote right. Like, I don't
yeah.
want to just show up and destroy myself and be like, check it off, I did that race. I wanted to like actually know how to execute correctly, so that I wouldn't have to worry about um, a DNF or get
Yeah.
not making a cutoff time. I really wanted to like thoroughly know what I was doing and do it well. So I decided I had to handle like a part-time job. So
Yeah.
I always had about 20 hours a week set aside just for training.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's not that that was always required, but I made sure like every single thing that my coach told me to do, I did. If he's like, I want you to get 9 hours of sleep for the next three, like I did it. If he was like, I want you to go lift at the gym, even if I didn't know how to do it, I asked
Wow.
somebody and I went and I figured out how to do it. Um, and I never missed training. Like, it could be torrential downpours, and he'd text me and be like, get on the trainer. I don't want you riding outside in this. And
Yeah.
I would watch the weather and sit on the trainer until I could get outside and I would go do it. Um, and so it was a great process.
How
Um,
did you find your coach?
he, I don't remember exactly, probably through someone in my running group, maybe. And he
Okay.
actually now runs multi-sport. What is it called? I want to say they swim in Marsh Creek, and he has a whole triathlon club now.
Hmm.
Probably haven't spoken to him or like been able to cross paths with him in, oh gosh, since early, like since before I had kids.
Oh, wow.
Um, but his name will pop into my head here, brain fog. It might be Tri-State Multisport, something like that.
Okay.
That sounds familiar. I feel like I looked that guy up during COVID because DJ is, my middle child
Yeah.
son was a hardcore swimmer. And, during COVID, all the pools were shut down, but he wanted to keep training and he didn't want to lose any of the shape because he was trying at that time to go D1, but had not committed to a school yet.
Yeah.
So like he was like, I have to keep going. Like I have to stay focused. I think I remember
Yeah.
looking that guy up so that maybe I was going to sign him up so he could at least go swim at Marsh Creek. But
Yes.
then we wound up bagging it and ending up at what is it, Blue Lake? Is it Blue Marsh?
Up by Reading. Up by
Yeah, up at
Reading. Yeah.
Reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Marsh. Oh my gosh, I can't think of all these places now, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Blue
Um,
Lake. Blue Lake? I don't
No
know. It's
idea.
up near Reading.
yeah. It's great. I just love that these programs have developed like this and that the access has become so much easier for so many people,
Oh yeah, for
um,
sure.
which is just great. And yeah.
So how did you go from doing endurance sports into CrossFit? Like how did that bridge happen?
So a little bit funny. I always just kept running like through having kids and them growing up. Um, and I would go to the Y to lift and try to keep, I kind of have these rules for myself as I'm aging. Every year, I want to make sure that I can still swim an open mile, run 10 miles, and that as long as I can, deadlift 300 pounds and just make
Wow.
sure that I'm
Damn, girl.
still, well, I feel like it's this like if you don't take care of it right, it'll go away quickly.
Yeah.
But I feel like even if I'm working towards that and I'm 70, that's a pretty good goal to keep my lower body strong and my bones dense.
Yeah.
And I never want to lose the ability to run and enjoy it.
Yeah.
To just go get lost in the woods with some friends and run through the creeks and that kind of stuff. So um, the transition. Okay, so then my kids were competitive gymnasts up at Parkettes in Allentown. So we were driving for almost 7 years, an hour each way up for their 3 training routine schedules, regimens.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And they had, as part of the programming up there, a strength and conditioning coach. And he says to our middle daughter, who is like notoriously sunny, he said to her, "Hey, is that your mom over there?" And she said, "Yeah." And he said, "I'm trying to build a national level women's strongman team. I'd like to recruit her. Do you think she would do it?" And Quinn goes, "Sign her up. She'd love it." Like, so this giant guy, uh, 6'8", 350 pounds, approaches me in the parent
Wow.
stands, and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, what has one of my kids done?" And he said, introduced himself. "I'm Kyle Bixler. I run a strongman team. I'd love it if you came and tried us out. I'm trying to build this program." And I thought, I don't have any idea what strongman is, but I mean, if it gives me something to do while my kids are in practice, sign me up. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'd run all the courses around there and all the things. Um, so I went over. The first night was somewhat terrifying. It was me and a bunch of very large humans, and they were deadlifting enormous amounts of weight and dropping the barbell. So it was like
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
shaking, really close to each other with really loud, scary music on. And I was like, this is not for me. And he was very positive and just approached me and asked if I would join the team. And so I kind of thought, well, I'm kind of curious. Like, and again, it gives me something fun to do. And so I ended up competing in that and seemed to be my jam. And so I just worked up from there. Um, and then the CrossFit transition from there, I was still competing in strongman. And our oldest daughter, Reese, who is an elite CrossFitter now, was a 14-year-old gymnast that was going through, to put it nicely, a lot of the sort of body shaming that's going on,
Mm.
that occurs in that field sometimes,
Yeah.
and at those levels certainly. And she's built like me, so she was being discouraged from getting muscular, which is, we have just a denser build, and so that was challenging. And I wanted her to see what real women's bodies looked like. That it wasn't this, she didn't have to fit into this like wayfish stereotype, that
Mm-hmm.
strong women grew and developed differently and could do very capable things.
I
And
actually feel
so,
like a stronger woman would be a more successful gymnast.
yep. So it's really fascinating. And she's really sweet about how she shares this when she gets interviewed. And that her coaches were Olympians, from Eastern Europe. And
Mm.
so they were taught that the lighter your body is, the more easily it flies through the air. And so you need to be as thin as you can. And
Mm.
then you have this older generation of coaches coaching our elite gymnasts now. And so they're only coaching what they were told and what they know. And so you'll notice in the Olympics that a lot of the American gymnasts have a lot more strong frames now and more dense muscle tissue.
Yeah.
But that's often a rough journey to get to a place where that's encouraged.
Mm.
Um, so in any case, during COVID happened, it gave me the opportunity to put the CrossFit Games on and be like, look at these women. Isn't this amazing? And then because the gym, they were being trained remotely, her gymnastics gym, I was able to take her to Iron Cross. John Warnick, the co-owner, had been recommended to me. And so I just took her in there, and he claims that like when he first met her, he was like, this could be a CrossFit Games athlete, and she was like this really kind of emaciated 14-year-old kid. Um, And she just took to it, and it enabled her to kind of break free from gymnastics, and kind of the rest is history. And I was like, this is so fun. I want to do this.
Oh, that's really cool. What is the difference? Like, I'm a layman. I don't know much about the CrossFit world, if I'm being real. Like, I do
I don't either.
functional training and all of that. So, what is the difference between like strongman training and CrossFit training?
So strongman is a weight sport, so you compete in weight categories, and
Okay.
you're picking up. Although there are a lot of repeated events, you could show up to any strongman competition and have to move something that is an odd object, pull a truck, flip a tire, run with a heavy yoke frame on your back, pick up a keg. Um,
No, now you're
I-
talking my language.
and
I was like,
then
the truck, the keg. Yeah, I
the
got you.
keg, yeah,
I got you, girl.
um, where CrossFit is not a weight sport. It is goes by age division, and then the open is the elite, or the what most people kind of consider the pro division, is up to. I mean, you can do it anytime. You can qualify in that division, but it goes up to age 34, 35, and up is considered masters. And
Okay.
then you go in 5 year increments. And then CrossFit itself is the easiest way to explain it. It is the science of becoming the fittest human. So it provides a combination of gymnastics, strongman, Olympic weightlifting, and they say triathlon, meaning that when you are competing in CrossFit, you could have any of the elements from those sports, and you need to be trained and able to do it. And then competitions are any combination of those that are going to challenge you on endurance, your ability to move through space with the gymnastics, strength training with the Olympic lifting, and all different combinations, so that your body has to perpetually adapt. So it's always getting fitter.
I love that. Now here's a fun fact, and I don't know if I ever told you this, Lori, but my husband Jim, his cousin actually is an owner of the NOLA CrossFit down in New Orleans.
I did
Hey,
not know this.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of funny because I mean he's like a good like I don't know maybe like 12, maybe 15 years younger than us. And when he was younger, he kind of like like a normal like teenager, but like didn't come across as like super athletic and stuff. And now when you see him, this dude is so jacked. Like and his kids are super athletic, and they have him and his wife have 4 kids, and it's just kind of crazy, like and not crazy in a bad way, but crazy to go and see like once you find something that is your niche, right? And that you're like, hey, this is what I connect with both mentally, physically, spiritually, right? I
yeah,
mean, it's his way of life. And like when I see him on, Facebook, it's like he's competing in everything, like every weekend and stuff, right?
yeah,
And the freaking weights that he's lifting, I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, that's like just, like I'm thinking my L4 that I have a bulge disc. I'm like, yeah, that's just destruction waiting to happen, but kudos. Like I've always been intrigued by it, but like I think it's one of those things. And maybe like you as a coach, like, hey, do people go and participate in CrossFit who do have like, physical ailments?
yeah,
I have a bulged L4 disc, right? And it's like,
yeah,
and I heard it sometimes like when I'm bending over to pick up a wire,
Or tie her
or
shoe.
tie my
you know,
shoe,
there's
you
often
know?
sneezing injuries every day. I hear about a
Yeah,
sneezing injury.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yes, so we have um, youth program, teen program. I would imagine our oldest athlete is probably, I think it's one of my PT clients, and she's 81.
Wow.
And
Good
I
for
will
her.
tell you, yeah, in terms of being inspired as a woman that wants to really be active until she is no longer, being in ICA is the place to do it. I mean, I get to coach kids who, um, many times their parents say, they just haven't, nothing's clicked athletically. They hate gym class. It's been, they don't want to play outside, and they can come in and we teach them that, fitness is fun. Like, this is fun. And you can get really uncomfortable and you're going to be okay. And it can even be fun to do that and exciting.
Yeah.
And teenagers, we have a very similar population. Our teenagers get to learn a little more lifting, a little more proficiency under some weight. And you just see some of them who I suspect have never played sports, and they can come in there and feel fantastic getting to do these things. And I just feel really positive about the kids going out and knowing, like, hey, I am kind of getting this owner's manual for my body. And like, I'm going to know how to take care of my body the rest of my life. I'm going to find something that makes me feel this level of joy. And like, I have people that really care that are like helping me learn how to do it.
So like, and I absolutely just love your perspective on that. And you went like the whole gambit, from like little kids to, just the older population.
Yeah,
Lori and I, we years ago, we went and hiked the Inca Trail with a woman, and her name was Cherry.
I choose
And
cherry.
Cherry was in her 70s and she was in CrossFit. And this lady like could kick our
Was
asses, like
yeah,
kicking
just
ass.
and we said, Lori and I always said, when we get older, we choose Cherry. Like we have
Yes.
I
to
love
keep things
this.
moving. We have to keep things going because she just was incredible and such an inspiration. And I think, just as you're going through your journey, even as a coach, I mean, a coach, like people look at you even like of a more heightened focus, right? Because you are
Mhm.
there to help facilitate them.
Sure,
But
sure.
like Lori and I, when we're on, the start line for races, we're noticing that the population around us is getting younger and younger. I think I said when we were in Cedar Rapids a couple of weeks ago, I could be everybody's mom in this corral. But it's cool because it's like, look, if we have, some 20 something year olds looking at us going, hey, I want to keep doing what they're doing, at their age. That's what it's all about, not only just for us, because
Well,
it's about
yeah.
but just to be an inspiration. So I'm
We-
sure that some of those, the younger kids, the teenagers, they're working with you going, holy cow, my coach is a badass. And I'm not calling you old, but it's like, hey, like,
no,
she's older and she's still getting out here and freaking being a badass.
I hope so. And one of the things that I love is when we've had several parents that come and have zero interest. They just want their kids to get moving and they become members. Because they're like,
Yeah.
this is pretty great. I'm like, it really is. It's so much fun. We have a 69-year-old member who just qualified for the age group CrossFit Games. And
Oh, fantastic.
she's amazing. She inspires me every day. And I think I like to tease her and go, I want to grow up to be a Betsy. So she's like your cherry.
I
She is.
I absolutely love that. So Karen, like we call our podcast the Mile 20 podcast because in a race, things start to get really tough, and sometimes they get tougher before you hit mile 20, but usually mile 20 is when you kind of hit the wall. And and you're like, do I keep going the extra 6 miles, right? Like mind, body, they start disconnecting from each other. And we use it as a metaphor for, for our lives, right? And our mindset that as we're getting older in life, how do I continue to run those last 6 miles? How do I continue to push on the back nine, right, of
Yeah.
life? But you always come across this like fork in the road to go and say, what path am I gonna do the harder path, path of least resistance? So do you have an example of like a time in your life where you're like, you hit the mile 20 and you're like, oh, I gotta choose. I gotta go this way, I gotta go that way. And and just how did it impact you with the choice that you made?
Um, in life in general and or sport.
Could be either. Could be either. Because mile 20, it transcends, man. It's not just in the
Yeah.
marathon.
I
It's
know
Because
everywhere.
Lord knows it, life can throw the mile 20 at you too and
Yep.
smack you in the face.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. I had about your back issue. I had fallen during Ironman training and
Mm.
ruptured a disc in my back, but I didn't know it. And I
Oh.
just
Oh.
kind of kept moving. Like went on my run, biked, did the race. Um, and then I had our daughter Reese, and during the early months of sitting in the position of breastfeeding, was starting to lose sensation in my leg.
Oh,
So I find out through this like a lengthy process that like, oh, you have a ruptured disc and a bulging disc and it's impeding this nerve.
Oh my goodness.
And I was just like, well, I I have this plan. I'm going to breastfeed this baby for a year. And then you're going to tell me everything that I can do to help this get better. Because I'm not signing up for back surgery. I'm not missing this like year with my infant and all the
Mm,
I don't want to like risk not being able to run and do all the things.
Yeah.
Um, so I was able to really keep ahead of it for about 11 years. 11 years in, I
wow.
was doing a workout with a friend who happened to be an orthopedic doctor. And I went to do a pull up and ruptured the other disc, which caused drop foot.
Oh,
So
geez.
he helped me off the rig, called his office. I was in with a spinal doctor an hour and a half later, and they
Wow.
said, you've got to have surgery. And so I didn't have a choice. So, long story short, because I
Yes.
had stayed in good shape, I navigated the surgery very well. But also, I said, what can I, like, what's my activity level allowed to be? And they didn't really have anyone that was like interested in going and running 10 miles, like right out of back surgery. So it was sort of given to me that, like, well, kind of do what you can, but don't go so far that it hurts. Well, that's, as you guys know, an odd question to somebody that liked doing endurance sports. Um,
Yeah.
so, long story short, I ended up getting a flesh eating infection in my spine, and I almost lost my life. And when I came out of it,
Oh
um,
my God, Karen,
Holy
geez.
yeah,
cow.
no, it all worked out. But my point is, it was like Christmas Eve, and my body was telling me like something's not right. And I was like, oh, but we have Christmas Eve plans with the kids, and I
Oh
want to
my
get the
God.
trees, the gifts under the tree. And so I said to my husband, after increasingly my brain was kind of giving me all these red flags. And I said to him, I think I'm going to call the doctor because I'm really feeling unwell. And I think something's like wrong with the surgery site. So I drove myself to the hospital. And then by the time I got there, I had 104.5 fever, and they immediately went into like trauma treatment, loaded me into an ambulance, took me to Jefferson, where I was immediately taken into surgery. And
Oh
um,
my gosh.
when I came out the next day, and everybody was so wonderful that cared for me and handled the whole thing. I was crushed to miss my kids on Christmas morning.
Oh, I'm sure.
And the doctor came in, and the infectious disease guy and the neurosurgeon, and they kind of had this. My dad was in the room, and they had this whole conversation about what had gone down, what the next several months of my life was going to look like, and that kind of thing. And I said, okay, I want to be able to continue to be active. Am I going to be able to do that coming out of this? And the orthopede said, and he was the head of Rothman, he said, if you're willing to work hard enough, you can rebuild everything that we had to remove. And so a lot of these other opportunities that came along gave me that back. Like strongman, like picking up sandbags, it helps your body rebuild those areas of
Wow.
support tissue and muscle. And, running with intention and being willing to go in and do leg press and do all these things that help your body rebuild itself, number one. And number two, the fact that I had kept my in touch with my body moving up to that was the difference between life and death for me. And that
Mm.
was told to me like multiple times over the recovery window. Like if you hadn't known your body, you wouldn't have come through this.
Wow.
So the
Wow.
fork in my road was like coming out of that was like I could be afraid to do all those things, that
Hmm.
I could be in that scary situation again. Or I could say
Yeah.
like as soon as I'm allowed, I'm going to walk around my neighborhood. And then if that's okay, I'm going to walk a little bit further. And if that's okay, and I just kept doing that. And I was on quarantine in my house on a pick line for 8 weeks, and the nurse would come to the house,
Wow.
and I would just say to her, like, could we go for a walk today? And so, like, we would go for a walk. And I just kept doing the things and doing the things and doing the things until I was back at it. And so I was able to rebound pretty quickly because I was intent. I'm like, I am not going to be somebody that can't engage the world as
Yeah.
I get older. I don't want to meet my grandkids. I like want to run around on a soccer field with them, you know?
Yes.
So I guess that was it. That was like the choice to move forward or kind of go gently, And I was like, nope, we're not going gently.
I would say that's the very definition of a mile 20 moment.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
beyond definition.
Yeah. And I think it taught me too, right? We have way more control over our machines than we might realize.
Yeah.
Well, and so many people choose the other path. Like
Sure.
they get so fearful of what if it happens again, or what if I hurt this, and what if, when the best thing you can do is figure out how to continue to move. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always way of modifying things to make it easier or
Yeah.
fit whatever your body requires, but it is better, so much better to do it and gain all the fitness that comes from it than to just surrender to what's happened, because
Yeah.
that's a whole different life there.
Right. And it wasn't one that I wanted to live.
Yeah.
Um, so and I was grateful. And again, I think that's something that endurance sports help you learn. You learn so much about yourself racing and navigating mile 20 and figuring out like what do I need to like really be joyful? And it has to, for me, I have to be able to engage the world and be a part of my family's life.
Yeah. Oof.
That's
Girl.
fantastic. So if you could go back and give
Yes.
your younger athletic self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Be proud of taking up some space. Don't be ashamed of the size of your shoulders or the size of your butt. It's what makes you strong. It's enables you to hug your children like from your heart hard and to sprint hard and like, feel the wind in your hair. It's not something to be ashamed of or try to disappear yourself. Um,
That's a good advice.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's for some reason they still are feeling like as a young person that your body should look a certain way. I think social media is bringing that all back around again, where I think it had kind of poo-pooed itself. It's like some places you feel like there's all this pressure to look a certain way. And then it's funny because you go out into reality and really everybody is just being themselves, wearing
Yeah.
whatever they want, it doesn't matter. And I think it's just important to just try and be the best version of you, whatever that is. Because some
Yeah.
of us have thicker, some of us don't have skinny arms, we're going to
Yeah.
have strong arms and that's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. I
but it's
want women
okay.
to feel like good to take up whatever space they feel good taking up, and that um I would just love for that to all go away.
I
And I
agree.
wish for everyone, men and women alike, to just feel good in your skin. And wouldn't it be so nice if we didn't all have to like let that take up so much of our energy, um, and our emotion in life? If we could just be like, hey, this is my machine and I'm just so grateful for it and I'm just going to go have fun.
Yeah, I know. Anytime I look at my legs, and I'm standing next to my mom in a picture, and my mom's got these like little chicken legs, and I'm like, I'm like you get the mental conversation like, man, my legs are so much bigger than my mom's, but I was like, but my legs, they've carried me thousands of miles,
So,
right, and more
so many
thousands
beautiful.
more to come,
Yeah,
so it's just you put it in perspective, right? So
absolutely.
no,
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
great. That's great advice to go and give. So, Karen, before we finish up the conversation, I mean, any last parting thoughts, words of wisdom you want to
Come
give to our listeners as
come
we
into
close this up?
ICA and we'll do a little workout together. We'll get you marathoners into some CrossFit.
I'm so
What
scared
do
of
you say?
CrossFit.
Come in with
I'm so
Maggie. She
scared of
is just
it.
like a shining light in there. And it's just such a wonderful, it is the best group of people that I've had the pleasure of like meeting in my life. And they're all in this one space having fun and, making fun of each other in the most affectionate way, and getting fit, and living their best lives in there.
I
We
So
should
love it.
try one.
come try one, come
Just one.
play. We're gonna have a ball.
I'll try everything once. I mean,
Yeah. So fun.
you
Yeah.
just we just need to put like bubble wrap around my back. No, seriously, Karen, like
Modifications.
I wasn't joking around, like throwing out my back. Like we ran a race in Rhode Island and it was the night before the race. And last thing I had to do was plug in my freaking phone and I bent over the side of the bed to pick up the wire, and I freaking threw out my back.
Oh,
And I
oh,
came out of the room the next morning. I somehow managed to put on my clothes, and I was kind of like hunched over like this. And I looked at Lori and our friend Julie, and I was like, "Can someone put my sneakers on me?"
oh
And
I
Lori,
ran over to the race director that morning. I'm like, where's the race director? And I'm like, listen, okay, we know what the race cutoff time is, and we are going to try and make it. But I'm just telling you right now, it's going to be close. We are here. We are running the 50 states. My friend threw out her back. Please be gentle with us today. And he was super
no.
sweet about it.
we
That
could
is
we could have
wonderful.
played a
And I'm
really
sorry you
really
went through that, but
yeah, we could have played a really wicked drinking game with all the F bombs that came out of my mouth that day.
that
Take a
is
shot
fair.
every time Laura drops the F bomb. Yep.
That is fair. Back pain is uniquely awful, right? Like,
You
Well,
know what was
everything
it,
stems from the
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Your
sure,
upper body, your arms, your leg movement, everything. Your back
all of it.
supports it all.
Uh-huh.
I would say what was worse than running was the drive home the next day.
Yes. By the
That
way,
was that was the
hands
worst.
down, sitting is the worst thing
Yes.
for me. Like in general, I'm like, I would just rather run it than have to sit for
Yeah.
all those hours. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
it's
Yep.
wicked.
Yep. No, totally. But we'll take you up on that. So we'll go and
Yes.
coordinate
Take care of your
offline. And
back. It'll be great.
oh God, I'm gonna step into a CrossFit gym.
Great. I can't
Hey,
wait.
if we're
I'll have
really going
Maggie
to choose,
organize it.
if we're going to choose Cherry, Cherry did CrossFit. I don't know.
See, if you're gonna choose Cherry, you have to come to ICA. It's just how it is.
Okay. All right. That's not lip service. Like I can be a yes person too,
Perfect. I
Karen.
am totally game. And it'll be so fun to meet you guys in person. We'll have a
I
blast.
can already tell you that my new like I always feel like with these interviews that we do with all these wonderful people, you yourself included, Karen, I take away something from every interview we do. And my takeaway from this, and I hope maybe for other people too that are listening to this, is like I need to be more yes. Like, I need to stop getting in my own head and thinking of the hundred of reasons why it could be a bad idea to do something. And I need to just start saying yes. Yes,
Sure.
more, putting myself out. Like, when we came up with the idea of doing this podcast, I drug my feet. Laura, Maggie
For
were like,
six
yes,
months. For like
yes,
six
let's do
months.
it. Let's do it. And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm scared. And then finally, I'm like, whatever, let's do it. but
And you
it
guys are crushing it. It's awesome.
but yes, that is going to be my takeaway. I need to say yes more.
I love this. And then keep me in the loop. I can't wait after your CrossFit, the beginning of your CrossFit careers, to hear all about your other yeses.
I am not promising a career. I'm promising to come in for a visit to come meet you in person and do a workout.
Perfect. We'll
Let's
take it
just
from there.
let's start there.
Let's start there.
Just be forewarned, you're gonna have a lot of fun and you're gonna be like, you're right, Karen. Yeah, this is amazing.
We might have to film it too, Lori.
Oh my gosh, it would be fantastic.
Well, I'm
All
sure our
about it.
producer will be there since she works out there anyway.
Absolutely.
I think
She's
it'll
so
be a
fun.
very humbling experience, that's for sure. So
There may be, wait, are we allowed to do F bombs at the gym? Is that allowed?
Absolutely welcome. Yeah.
Okay, good.
You
All right.
let fly with whatever you have to.
I will
Perfect.
find my inner Roy Kent. Yes.
He's the best.
Yes. Yes.
Next
Yes.
to Sherry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Karen, thank you so incredibly
Thank
much.
you.
It was absolute pleasure meeting you.
Likewise.
And we cannot wait to go and hit the gym with you so you can go and coach us through it.
Yes,
Perfect.
thanks,
Sounds
Karen.
great. Have a great summer.
Thank
You
you.
too.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Lori, I absolutely loved talking to Karen. I think she scared me though, like with the CrossFit.
You know, we should be embracing and saying yes more. I agree.
I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes, 'cause
CrossFit scares the shit out of me too. And I
Yeah.
can't say, I do have a gym I go to already, so I can't commit to like changing what I'm doing, but I'm open to trying a new experience.
I'm open to trying a new experience. I mean, as you know, I had been going to a gym for a number of years, and it's so like individualized. And I think for me, the thing that I like that Karen shared is that the gym creates more of like a community type of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I don't have that at the gym that I have been a part of for a number of years. We used to have that because we used to do more like boot camp kind of training. And then I just found like I was just going there and I felt like I was like just by myself, surrounded by like, like 10 other people, but I just like was in my own little world. I'm like, and that's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm in a different place in my life. So who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. And all right. So to articulate why CrossFit scares me is because I think I see the extreme videos and stuff of people who do CrossFit who are lifting, 300, 400 pound weights and like, lifting
And
them
like,
over their heads and like,
well, or I see people doing like handstands against a wall and doing press ups in a handstand position. And I'm like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, yeah. So these are things that I'm like, I consider myself fit. Am I the strongest that I possibly could be right now? No, I'm definitely not. So I know I have to do something, different than what I'm doing right now. But it's like I just don't know if like CrossFit has like more of like an intermediate level, like a lower level, So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
The jury's out, but we both said yes. So that's half the battle, right?
Yep. Let's do it. I think that'll be fun.
No, outstanding. Well, next week, as we mentioned earlier in the episode, Lori and I are going to be running the Mad Marathon. I don't know if we're mad like crazy. Is that the mad? The
I
mad
feel
thing?
like perhaps because the elevation chart for this marathon looks like it's off the fucking charts. So it should be an interesting challenge for us this weekend.
I'm not even going to call this one hilly. I'm just going to call it mountainous.
Yes, mountainous. You know what? I don't think that we will be arguing whether we're going up and down this weekend. I think it's going to be very obvious whether
No,
we're
it's
going
going to
up
be
and
like,
down.
it's like, no, we're going up and no, we're going down. Like that. That's it. That's all this race has going on. But apparently it's supposed to be extremely scenic. And I know I mentioned to you that I don't usually look at a course ahead of time in terms of, like if somebody had a GoPro, but I'm going to kind of do that just to more mentally prepare myself to like, okay, like how bad is this? Because when you look at the course elevation map, it's like, holy crap, what did I just do to myself? What did I sign up for?
Yeah. Yeah. In 6.5 hours. This should be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but however, I have scoped out the route and it does look like we could double plan. That's all I'm going to say. Like the mile 20 beverage could be like mile 20, mile 15,
That's cool.
15,
That's cool.
20 beverage.
We might need that.
If we want it,
We might need
might
that.
be an option.
Yeah. We
And
might need that.
I'm hoping to pick up. There is, upstate New York. I think they have a maybe in PA, but have you heard of 1911 ciders?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they sell them, quite prolifically up in this area. And I was thinking about picking up the rosé and bringing that with me because it is gluten free. Just as a thought.
Yes, that
They
would be
have
a
a
nice.
rosé cider that is fantastic.
That would be a nice. That would be a nice one of the stops.
Yes, just a thought.
I love it. I love it. Well, we especially want to thank all of our listeners, and please make sure you check us out on our socials. We are on Facebook and Instagram. Got some really cool pictures. We'll throw some pictures out there today of us interviewing Karen, and we're on YouTube every week. I think we have a couple people every week that check us out on video, but we actually video each of our recordings so you can see us, and when we have special guests, you can see our guests as well. So again,
and I just want to put a plug in too, especially it's on Instagram at Mile 20 Podcast, because we are getting so close to 400 followers. So even if you know people that are not following us, please make your friends follow us because I would love to hit 500 soon. Please. Okay, that's it.
Lori's got goals.
Yes.
You know what else is a goal this week, Lori?
What?
Making Mile 20 your bitch.
Peace out.